If you're here right now, there's a reason. Maybe you clicked on this because the title spoke to something deep within you, something you've been feeling but haven't quite put into words. Maybe you're exhausted in a way that sleep doesn't fix. Maybe you're the person everyone turns to, and you've forgotten what it feels like to lean on someone else. This message is for you. Today, we're exploring an energy that many of you with Sagittarius placements, or those connected to Sagittarius energy, carry so naturally that you don't even realize the weight of it. You are the optimist, the adventurer, the one who lifts spirits with your humor, your wisdom, your seemingly endless capacity for hope. You're the friend who shows up, the one who gives a pep talk, the shoulder to cry on, the light in the darkness. But here's what I want you to sit with today. You carry everyone. Who carries you? This isn't about guilt or blame. It's not about anyone taking advantage of you, though that may have happened. This is about something deeper. This is about recognition, about awareness, about giving yourself permission to be honest about what you need, even when it feels uncomfortable or unfamiliar. So take a breath with me. Settle in. This conversation might touch some tender places, but that's where the healing begins. Let's start here. You've probably been strong for so long that you don't remember what it's like not to be. Sagittarius energy carries this beautiful fire, this optimism that refuses to be extinguished, this belief that things will work out, that there's always another horizon to explore, another lesson to learn. And that's genuinely one of your greatest gifts. You have the ability to see the bigger picture when others are lost in the details. You find meaning in chaos. You remind people that their current struggle isn't their final destination. But can we be honest about what happens when you're always a strong one? You start to believe that's all you're allowed to be. You start to think that if you show vulnerability, people will be disappointed. That if you admit you're struggling, you'll somehow lose your identity. That if you're not the one holding it together, everything will fall apart. And so you keep going. You keep showing up. You keep being the lighthouse, even when your own light is flickering. Here's what I want you to understand. Strength isn't the absence of struggle. Strength is honoring your humanity while still moving forward. You don't have to be invincible to be valuable. You don't have to have all the answers to be worthy of love and support. You don't have to carry everyone's burdens to prove that you care. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is say, I need help. I'm tired. I don't have it all figured out right now. Let's look at the pattern, because patterns reveal so much. Think about your relationships, friendships, family, romantic connections. How often do people come to you when they're struggling? How often are you the first person someone texts when they need advice, encouragement, or just someone to listen? Probably a lot, right? And I'm willing to bet that when they do, you show up fully. You give thoughtful advice. You share your wisdom. You make them laugh when they need lightness. You help them see possibilities they couldn't see on their own. This is beautiful. This is your gift. But here's the question that matters. When you're struggling, who do you call? And before you answer, I want you to be really honest. Not who could you call in theory. Not who would probably listen if you asked. But who do you actually call? Who have you let see you in your vulnerability? Who knows that beneath this adventurous, optimistic exterior, you sometimes feel lost too? For many of you, the answer is not many people, maybe no one. And that's not because you don't have people who care about you. It's because somewhere along the way, you internalize a belief that asking for support is a burden, that your problems aren't that bad compared to what others are going through, that you should be able to handle things on your own. You become so skilled at being the giver that you've forgotten how to receive. But here's what's true. Relationships aren't meant to be one-way streets. The flow of support, of care, of presence, it needs to move in both directions. When you never let anyone carry you, you're actually denying them the gift of being there for you. You're denying them the opportunity to show up for you the way you show up for them. You're keeping the relationship surface level by only showing one side of yourself. Real intimacy requires vulnerability. Real connection happens when both people are willing to be seen in their wholeness, strengths and struggles. So why do you do this? Why do you carry everyone else but resist being carried yourself? There are usually a few layers here. One layer might be identity. You've built a sense of self around being the strong one, the wise one, the one who has their life together. And there's a fear that if you show the parts of you that are messy or uncertain, people will see you differently. They'll lose respect for you. They won't want your guidance anymore. But that's not how genuine connection works. People don't love you because you're perfect. They love you because you're real. And when you let them see your vulnerability, you actually deepen the bond. You give them permission to be human too. Another layer might be control. When you're the one giving support, you're in control. You get to choose how much to share, how deep to go, when to pull back. But receiving support requires trust. It requires letting someone else hold space for you. It requires surrendering the illusion that you can handle everything alone. And for Sagittarius energy that values freedom and independence, that can feel incredibly uncomfortable. You don't want to feel dependent. You don't want to feel like you owe anyone anything. You don't want to be vulnerable to disappointment if someone doesn't show up the way you need them to. But here's what I'm inviting you to consider. Interdependence isn't the same as dependence. Allowing support isn't weakness. It's wisdom. We're not meant to do this life alone. We're wired for connection. And there's actually incredible strength in recognizing when you need someone else's perspective, someone else's presence, someone else's care. There might also be a layer of old pain here. Maybe you did try to lean on someone in the past, and they let you down. Maybe you opened up and felt dismissed or minimized. Maybe you learned that it was safer to just handle things yourself. If that's true for you, I see you. I understand why you built those walls. They protected you when you needed protection. But I also want you to ask yourself, are those walls still serving you, or are they keeping you isolated? Not everyone will be able to hold space for you the way you need. That's true, but that doesn't mean no one can. It just means you might need to be more intentional about who you share your deeper struggles with. Let's talk about what happens when you keep carrying everyone without letting anyone carry you. First, there's exhaustion. Not just physical tiredness, but soul-level weariness. The kind that makes you feel like you're going through the motions. The kind that steals your joy, your enthusiasm, your sense of adventure. You might still show up for others, but you're running on empty. Second, there's resentment. And this one can be subtle. You might not even realize it's there at first. But over time, when you're constantly giving and rarely receiving, a quiet bitterness can build. You start to notice how often people reach out when they need something, but not just to check on you. You start to feel taken for granted. And that's a painful place to be, especially when you genuinely love the people in your life. But here's the thing about resentment. It's often a signal that a boundary needs attention. It's your inner compass saying, something isn't balanced here. Third, there's disconnection from yourself and from others. When you're always in helper mode, you lose touch with your own needs, your own emotions, your own desires. You become so focused on everyone else's journey that you forget you're on one too. And ironically, by not letting others in, you create the very loneliness you're trying to avoid. And finally, there's burnout, the point where your body or your emotions or your spirit just stops, where you can't keep going at the same pace, where the optimism that usually sustains you feels out of reach. I share this not to scare you, but to help you understand that tending to your own needs isn't selfish. It's essential. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't be a lighthouse if you run out of fuel. So what does it actually look like to let yourself be carried? It might look like calling a friend and saying, I'm not okay today. Can we talk? Without immediately downplaying it or rushing to say you'll be fine. It might look like accepting help when someone offers it. Even for small things. Letting someone bring you dinner when you're overwhelmed. Letting someone listen without feeling like you need to have solutions by the end of the conversation. It might look like being honest when someone asks how you're doing. Instead of the automatic, I'm good, you might say, actually, I've been struggling a bit. It's been a heavy week. It might look like sharing your dreams and fears, not just your wisdom and insights. Letting people see the parts of you that are still figuring things out. It might look like crying in front of someone you trust. Letting them see that even though you're strong, you're also tender. Even though you're optimistic, you also feel disappointment. Even though you're independent, you also crave connection. Being carried doesn't mean you become helpless or lose your strength. It means you recognize that you're human, and humans need each other. It means you stop treating vulnerability like a weakness and start seeing it as a bridge to deeper connection. If you're realizing that you don't currently have people who carry you the way you carry others, don't panic. This is actually an opportunity to be intentional about what you want your support system to look like. Start by asking yourself, who in my life has shown up for me, even in small ways? Maybe there's someone who checks on you regularly, even if you haven't been fully honest with them yet. Maybe there's someone who's offered support that you brushed off. Maybe there's someone you've kept at arm's length because you were afraid of being too much. These might be the people worth opening up to more. And here's a gentle truth. Sometimes you have to train people how to support you. Not everyone will instinctively know what you need, especially if you've always presented yourself as having it all together. You might need to explicitly say, I don't need you to fix this. I just need you to listen. Or, I'm going through something, and it would mean a lot if you could check in on me this week. You might also need to accept that not everyone in your life can be a deep support person, and that's okay. Some friendships are meant to be light and fun. Some are meant to be deep and reciprocal. Both have value. The key is knowing which is which and not expecting the wrong kind of support from the wrong people. And if you're finding that your current circle doesn't have people who can hold space for you, that's information too. It might be time to seek out new connections, whether that's through therapy, support groups, communities aligned to your interests, or even online spaces where vulnerability is welcomed. You deserve to have people who see all of you and love you anyway. You deserve to have people who ask how you're really doing and wait for the real answer. You deserve reciprocity. One of the biggest blocks to letting yourself be carried is guilt. You might feel guilty for burdening others with your problems. Guilty for not being the strong one all the time. Guilty for needing something from people who already have their own struggles. But let me offer you a different perspective. When you share your struggles with people who genuinely care about you, you're not burdening them. You're honoring them. You're saying, I trust you with this tender part of me. You're giving them the opportunity to show up, to matter, to make a difference in your life. You're allowing the relationship to be a true exchange rather than a one-way transaction. Think about how you feel when someone you care about opens up to you. Do you feel burdened? Or do you feel trusted, honored, grateful that they let you in? The people who truly love you want to be there for you. They want to know when you're struggling. They want the chance to give back what you've given to them. And yes, there's a balance. You don't want to use people as emotional dumping grounds without reciprocity. But there's a vast difference between healthy vulnerability and unhealthy dependence. Healthy vulnerability looks like sharing your struggles, asking for support when you need it, being honest about your emotions, and also taking responsibility for your healing journey. Unhealthy dependence looks like expecting one person to solve all your problems, refusing to do your own inner work, or using your struggles to manipulate or control others. You're not trying to become the latter. You're simply trying to move away from the extreme of never asking for support at all. So release the guilt. You're allowed to need people. You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to not have it all figured out. Here's something important. Sometimes, being carried looks like carrying yourself differently. When you can't or don't want to reach out to others, you can still show up for yourself with the same compassion you show to everyone else. What would it look like to speak to yourself the way you speak to your friends when they're struggling? To offer yourself the same grace, the same patience, the same encouragement? What would it look like to prioritize rest without calling it laziness? To take a day off without feeling guilty? To say no to commitments that drain you? What would it look like to actually feel your emotions instead of pushing through them? To journal, to cry, to process, to sit with what's hard instead of immediately searching for the lesson or the silver lining. Self-compassion is a form of being carried. It's you showing up for yourself the way you wish others would show up for you. And sometimes professional support is how you carry yourself. Therapy, coaching, counseling, these aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of wisdom. They're you recognizing that you need someone trained to hold space for you, someone who can offer tools and perspectives you might not have access to otherwise. There's no shame in getting help. There's only courage. So here's where we are. Beautiful soul, you've been carrying everyone. You've been the light, the hope, the guide. And that's a beautiful gift. But it's not sustainable if you're doing it alone. The invitation today is to start exploring what it would feel like to be carried too, not to stop being strong, not to stop showing up for the people you love, but to allow reciprocity, to allow support, to allow yourself to be human. This might feel uncomfortable at first. It might feel vulnerable and scary and unfamiliar, but I promise you it's worth it. Because when you let yourself be carried, you actually become more capable of carrying others, not from a place of depletion, but from a place of fullness, not from a place of proving your worth, but from a place of genuine love and overflow. You teach people how to treat you, and if you've been teaching them that you don't need anything, it's time to update the curriculum. Start small if you need to. Share one thing with one trusted person. Ask for help with one task. Be honest about one struggle. Notice what happens. Notice how it feels. Notice whether the fear you had about being too much or being a burden actually comes true, or whether, instead, people appreciate the opportunity to know you more deeply. You are not alone in this. Even when it feels like it, even when you've been holding it all together by yourself for so long that you've forgotten what shared burdens feel like, there are people who want to carry you. You just have to let them. As we close today, I want you to place your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. Release it slowly. And as you do, I want you to say this, out loud if you can, or silently if that feels safer. I am worthy of support. I am worthy of care. I am worthy of being carried too. Say it again. I am worthy of support. I am worthy of care. I am worthy of being carried too. One more time. I am worthy of support. I am worthy of care. I am worthy of being carried too. You are the adventurer, the optimist, the wise guide, and you are also the tired soul who needs rest. You are the strong one, and you are also the tender heart who needs to be held. Both can be true. Both are true. This week, I invite you to take one small step toward letting yourself be carried. Just one. See what opens up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your willingness to look at this tender place. Thank you for all the ways you show up in the world. And thank you for considering that you deserve to be shown up for too. You are seen, you are valued, and you are not alone. Until next time, take gentle care of your beautiful heart.